Hello and welcome, Mark here, and in this episode we're going to do the V-stitch. Isn't that pretty? Now what can I tell you about the V-stitch? Well, this is the standard V-stitch. There's different types of stitches you can do for the V-stitch, but this is basically the standard one really. Both sides are the same, which is also a bonus, especially if you're going to make something that both sides are seeable, like a scarf or a shawl. What else can I tell you about this? Well, as you can see, it is an open work, so it's classed as a lace stitch. It's a one row repeat, so it's something that's really easy to do. Once you get the foundation row done and you start doing the rows ones, you can stick on your favourite film and just work away, and it's not difficult. I do straight edges, which of course this is a straight piece, almost a square. As you can see, it just sticks in a little bit here. That's because when I made this sample, I did it all from the same size hook. And what I recommend doing when you're doing this stitch, that you use a hook size bigger, or even two sizes bigger, to do your foundation chain, because it does spread out a bit, and that's why it curves in a little bit there, because I use the same size hook for the whole thing. Now what else can I tell you? Right, that this also is a multiple of 3 stitches. I'm putting 2 fingers up there. 3 stitches. And again, I think I've already mentioned it, it is one row repeat. So let's see what you really need to do this stitch. First of all, you would need some yarn. You would need a scissors, of course, a needle, needles for weaving in the ends, scissors to cut off the yarn when you've done, and of course 2 sizes of hooks. One hook slightly bigger to do your foundation chain, and then one a size smaller to actually make your stitch. Now normally on your turning chains, they do say use 3 chains, but I find it looks a lot better and a lot neater if you only do a chain 2 instead of a 3 chain turning. You'll see in a minute. I think that's everything I need to say, so let's get crafting, shall we? Rightio. Right, so I'm just getting some yarn off this. Oh, my fan's undone. Off this beautiful mustard colour. And as always, we start with a slip knot. So get that done. And we'll just move the camera down a little bit so you can see a bit closer. And of course I'm using a 5mm hook as my larger hook. And this is DK weight yarn. So if you're using a thicker yarn, then of course you will use a larger size hook. And the foundation chain is multiples of 3, so you just keep going, 3 and 3 until you get to the size you want it. 3 again, so that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I think that's enough stitches. So that's just for the foundation chain. So now we remove that hook and bring in a smaller one. I don't know if you can see that. That is a 4.5. I'm not sure if you can see that. And now we start the foundation row. We make the first treble into the 4th chain from the hook. So you go 1, 2, 3 into the 4th chain and do a treble. Now of course I use UK terminology, so if you're outside the UK, this is known as a double. And of course we're going to work our first V stitch, we chain one, and then into the same chain we make another treble, and that is your V-stitch. The chains at the end count as your turning chains and your edge stitches. So let's work another V-stitch, shall we? We miss the next chain, go into the chain after that and work a V-stitch. And the V-stitch is a, oh, I think I split the yarn there. Let me just double check. Yes, I did. It's a treble, chain one, and a treble, all into that same chain. And if you don't know how to work a treble, I do have a tutorial on that, and I will leave a link to that in the description field down below. Miss the next stitch, go into the stitch after that, and work another V-stitch. And that is all you do across your foundation row. Chain one, and work another treble, all into that same chain. We'll do another one together. Miss the next stitch, go into the stitch after that. So if you can see, miss a stitch, chain, should I say, go into the next chain and work a V-stitch, which of course is the treble, chain one, and a treble, all into that same chain, and you create these V's. That's probably why they call it the V-stitch, really. So you just keep working like that until you have two chains left, and then I will meet back up with you when I get to there. Right, there we go. That's almost the foundation row complete. I just need to get to the end now, and we have two chains left, and we just work a treble into the last chain. And there you go. That is the foundation row complete. Now we move on to row one, and every row is now actually the same. And then we turn, and then I remember when I said that most people would say chain three. I find this stitch a little bit neater if we do a chain two. And now we're just going to roughly repeat the same as what we've already done, except for we're not going to be working into the foundation chain. We're going to be working around that chain one in between all the V stitches from the row below. Just a chain one. So into the chain one space we make a V stitch, treble, chain one, treble, and we just repeat that into the next V stitch. So we go into the chain one space and we work another V stitch, into the next chain one space, and there we go, we make another V stitch. So we just repeat that all the way to the end of the row, where we'll do a treble into the top of that turning chain. Right, got one V stitch left and the turning chain. So we'll work one more V stitch, chain one, treble, and now into the top of the turning chain. Don't get it confused, because this bit here, that's your last stitch, so you don't want to work in there. You don't want to work into that stitch, you want to actually work into the chain and into the top of the chain. Try and get 2 strands on top of it and work a treble, and that is how you end the row. So we turn, and that's it. That is, every row is the same now. We chain 2, work a V-stitch into every V-stitch, and then with the treble into the top of that chain 2 turning. So just a reminder there, just a chain 2, a V-stitch into the middle of every V-stitch from the row before. You work that all the way to the end, so I'll catch up with you just to remind you how to finish the row off. Alright, so when you've worked the last V-stitch into the top of the V-stitch from the row below, now at this time we only have 2 chains at the end there, and we find that top one, it is there, just squeeze in there, not into the stitch, but into the chain, try and get under 2 legs, do that again, 2 legs, and work a treble. And then that is the V-stitch. Maybe I needed to use a larger hook. Maybe I should have used a 5 1/2 for the foundation chain. But again, you see, you can just do this. If you're going to make it yourself, try it out. Try your foundation chain. Try one that's half size bigger, or if not, a full size. So I used a 4 1/2. So maybe using a 5 1/2 to do the foundation chain, because it still goes in a little bit. And of course we can cure that by using just a larger needle, a larger hook. Oh, I think that's it. Well, thank you, and if you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed this stitch, don't forget, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't, subscribe. Until next time, here are Mark Make Stitches. Bye.